Hey everybody, we're out doing a bit of a follow-up video on the H&N Pellet testing as per subscriber request. So I'm out here at around 100-ish yards, maybe a little further, and it's pretty cold out today, pretty chilly. I'll show you guys my setup real quick. I got the 97, and today we're only testing 3 pellets. We're testing the Hornets, which are kind of your hunting pellet, really high performance, but maybe not the best accuracy, although they did really well. And then we're testing the Barracuda Hunter Extremes, which also did fairly well at 20 and 50 yards. And then we're also doing the Barracuda 18 grains. So I'm gonna go get the rifle dialed in. It's fairly calm today, and I've been shooting a lot, so I think we should be getting a pretty good representative group for each one. Hopefully 2 groups for each pellet. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get this zeroed real quick off paper, just spotting it, and yeah, then we'll get the data together afterwards. Let's see how we do. We're pretty high, so I'm going to take a minute and get this zeroed. So here's what our groups look like from here, by the way, and we are all the way down the other end of the yard. So this is kind of going all right. The Hornets definitely took a while to get zeroed. It's kind of frustrating, and they're just not hitting with much energy, but they're grouping kind of decent. It's looking like a 3-inch group. Not gonna make any promises until I can get the calipers on those, but we're gonna go ahead and switch to the Barracudas and get a group with those real quick. So I checked the zero, got it dialed in. We're about a mil lower, which right now is just over 3 inches lower than the Hornets were, which is acceptable. So we're just going to group on the bottom half, aiming for the top bullseye. Oh, those are right next to each other. This might hopefully shape up to be pretty good. I felt pretty good about the first group. I had one that I might have been wobbling on a little bit, but I'm definitely warmed up now. And just the fact that any of these pellets are even performing. Oh, it's going to be a real good one at this range. Is just a testament to the quality of the pellets as well as the rifle. I love shooting the 97 out past 100 yards whenever I can. It's a lot of fun to come out at this range with an air rifle and prove that this kind of setup can do this range. A little bit low and left, but we're still hanging in there. Got one more to go before we get a group together. And I mean, a lot of rimfires struggle at this range. You have to get up to like the Valkortsons and the Bergaras before you really get performance that I think outmatches the 97 at this range. Because okay, so we've got a little bit of stringing here. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you. So there's our group with the Barracuda Extremes. You can obviously see it's much better than what's going on with the Hornets. A little bit of windage stringing there. Not really bad, I don't think. There's definitely a tiny cross breeze, and that elevation differential is, I mean, that's an inch right there at 100 yards. So I'm going to try and tighten that up with another group, and then we'll do the last pellets. So the adjustment I'm going to make for this, because I am holding pretty low, I'm going to come up probably... let me see what I'm going to come up real quick. I'll come up about 12 clicks just to give myself a pretty comfortable space between these groups here, so they're not really going to overlap with each other. And we're just going to get into it. Right on the money. Okay, so you can see this second group really started to fall apart a little bit. There's not really much wind or anything, and I felt really good about all those shots. And I was able to land a couple really close to my point of aim. But you can see the other three just really fell off to the right. And I'm going to get into that more when I'm inside and I'm not freezing. So my last tin today is the Barracuda 18. I have the most confidence in these because these are very, very similar to the JSB 18s that I like, that do very well. And I'm going to talk about why I think this pellet is probably going to do better, and why I like the JSB 18 so much more than any kind of hunting pellet or pointed pellet or obviously wad cutters. So we're going to just see real quick though on these last couple groups what kind of hold we're going to need. I'm hoping we should be pretty dead on with this. And we are not. We're about a mil below and a mil right of our Barracuda Extreme, which is really funny because these are lighter and more aerodynamic. They have a slightly higher BC than the Barracuda Extreme. So I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to dial this scope and I'm going to put a group or two together. All right, loading up here. This 97, it's just so butter smooth. It's so awesome. If you gave someone a million years to try and fiddle with this without taking it apart and try and feel the spring and feel the coils slipping over each other, they would never be able to tell there was a spring in this thing. It's just so awesome. And you know, it probably sounds pretty twangy today, and we're still not on paper. That's weird. But it probably feels pretty twangy today just because this table is kind of flimsy and cheesy, wicked plasticky, and it kind of just reverberates a lot and it makes it a lot louder. So, but it's still pretty quiet. But yeah, this gun is awesome. I'm gonna zero really quick and then I'll get back to you. Well, we've got the Barracuda 18s zeroed. It was kind of weird. They were just dancing around for a while, but I think I've got them right on target now. And I'm going to be aiming for the center bullseye. Hopefully I can pull off a half decent group, and then hopefully I can pull off two groups on this one last paper I've got. Oh no. This isn't going to be good, guys. It's already like a 3-inch group forming at 2 shots. Let's get the last 3 down. Yeah, this one is not performing as I expected it to, which is just bizarre. Another thing to note is that it is cold out, and anybody who knows much about springers knows that they just are not fans of the cold. Oh my god. We are at a solid 4-inch group right now. And I mean, I feel really good about these. My fingers aren't too cold yet. I'm not shivering at all. I've got my trusty rabbit fur hat on. But these guys are just going all over the place. And that's 5. Okay. I'm gonna go grab the papers and get the data written down, and I'll see you guys inside. The bench is a little bit of a mess right now, but I hope you've placed your bets because I found room to record our data and display it all. So this is in the same layout as when we were shooting at them. So Hornet, Barracuda Extreme, and then Barracuda 18 over here. So this is what the group looked like up close. These are just for zeroing. Don't mind the spray. This was in a backpack for a while. So we've got all our good stuff over here. And then 5-shot came out to 3.722 inches. Really not that bad, all things considered, for a really extreme dedicated hunting pellet. The only thing I didn't like is that we just weren't carrying any energy whatsoever. That BC is so low that it was noticeably less energy once we were hitting the board than the other two pellets, and I didn't like that at all. So yeah, you can hit stuff probably. I wouldn't hunt with it though. Next up we've got Barracuda Extreme, the only one where I really felt comfortable putting two separate groups on paper. Here's our first group. Here's our second group. This was actually a flyer from the Barracuda 18 grain, so that kind of tells you a little bit of foreshadowing there. So this first group was actually the best out of the day, 2.786, and one of the best I've shot at 100 yards with this air rifle. And I'm pretty happy with how that came out. And then it kind of just fell apart when we got up here. I really felt pretty good about both of these, and I just have no idea what was up with this guy. Just completely all over the place. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it was me. There wasn't much wind, and well, wind doesn't pull a pellet downwards. That's just a bad pellet, if you ask me. Finally, last and least, we've got this guy. This doesn't seem too bad, 3.626, but when you consider I also managed to hit not one, but two pellets on the neighboring paper, and you kind of just, actually, that's two. This one is from the overlap. But there's two up there. So really, really poor, which surprised me because the JSB 18s do so well. Sorry about the cut. Dropped the phone. So in conclusion, these guys hit or miss, literally. Yeah, the fact that they're hitting stuff at this range. I've tried the Predator polymags and the metal mags and the polymag shorts, and none of them performed even out to 50 yards. So the fact that these guys are a very similar design, very identical concept as the metal mags, and they're doing decent at 100 yards, better than some other pellets that are just strictly target pellets. That's really impressive to me. But still, just no energy. I wouldn't shoot at a squirrel at that range with Hornets. Those are Hornets. Yeah, Hornets. Barracuda Hunter Extreme. These are kind of your hybrid pellets. These are honestly the only thing I would feel comfortable with shooting a squirrel at 100 yards. I think if I did some sorting for weight and deformities, and got a little more trigger time and kept my trigger finger in better shape, I think I would shoot a squirrel at 100 yards with these, because they're still going to have some deformation, and they were still carrying a fair bit of energy. I'm guessing probably 8 foot-pounds, 10 foot-pounds, if that. This is a 20 foot-pound gun, so you do the math, guys. Finally, these really let me down. I'm definitely going to be choosing to stick with the JSB 18 grain pellets over these, which I'm happy about because I only have 1 tin of these, but about 3,000 of the JSBs, so glad I'm still going to have a reason to shoot those. But I'm probably going to be ordering some more Hunter Extreme pellets in the future, just because those really did the best out of the bunch. So thanks to the subscriber who requested I did this video today. I didn't have anything going on, and I haven't shot the 97 in a little bit, so I had a good time, the gun had a good time, and we learned a little bit today. So thanks for watching.